Here they are. I know which card you're waiting for, Tom.
Yeah? Which one's that?
It's a card that draws additional cards, let's say. From the extra deck, I mean, from Francesco. Did you forget already? Okay.
Draws from the extra deck?
Oh, no, guys.
What card does this?
Nah, guys. No. I can't believe this. he has been talking about the card for a while, but okay. Let's pretend. But talking of combos,
there you go.
There you go. Set one pass. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see Francesco smiling. Definitely not happy about this one. Oh well.
Oh, and he's getting the rough new. I mean, not quite yet, because this could still be anything, right?
Yeah.
But you don't really want to have a hand of 5 that can't do anything against a runic stun deck. But they will give you a turn to get back on your feet, and an extra card to get back on your feet.
Okay. So, wow. One day, that's...
One day of peace followed by a dimensional feature. The least peaceful.
Now he knows. So, if he didn't know, now he definitely knows. And I guess this wasn't the best opener, because at least we prevented, the fountain. But let's see if Francesco can pick up some of his engine. This feature is actually really annoying for Orcust.
Yeah, I think it's really, really annoying, isn't it? Because he's running the Horus engine as well. So
yeah, rough.
And he does not have like the Arpus Feather Duster as well.
And I think he just passed back.
Wow.
I mean, he couldn't really do much last turn anyway, but he's got to see 2 fresh cards, courtesy of the One Day of Peace and his normal draw.
And a pass back too. All right. That's the pace of this one.
It's proper Time Wizard Yu-Gi-Oh! This.
Absolutely. Our little buddy on the table is enjoying it.
I mean, Ed mentioned the penultimate duel. I want to see what is the penultimate Time Wizard tournament. We have the ultimate Time Wizard, but...
yeah, let's run that.
He's been sort of slow rolling these runic spells, because he could have used that last turn if he wanted, but maybe he thought the card in his hand was too valuable to discard.
Makes sense. And we are actually giving up on our desires, it seems. Wow. I mean, I guess you didn't have the space to activate it, but he's really debating between this one. And in the end, he gives up. Okay, another Ash from Francesco, though.
I don't like this column. It's making me worried. But I suppose Imperm would have happened rather than Ash Blossom.
There is a world in which we have banished all the fountains.
That would be a very bad world, yeah.
Francesco is really happy, but let's see.
He hasn't looked at the banish pile yet, has he?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
He doesn't even need to look, you know?
All right. Confident man.
Maybe we'll see a sort of, other player decks out the...
pass back.
The runic deck.
Okay, now he does.
Now it's about time.
And I see I found 2, and I think I see 2. I'm pretty sure I saw another one.
1 for sure.
How do you win?
Good question.
Oh, well, we're going to get aggressive.
That's how you win, Tom.
Normal summon the Rainbow Magician. But like once your opponent has no cards on the field, it starts to become really difficult to activate runic cards.
Yeah.
Especially if your extra monster zone is full.
I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure I did see 2 fountains in there, so... Ooh, a super polymerization is the first real card activated by Francesco in this duo. Definitely an interesting start.
This is really weird, isn't it? These aren't the cards you expect to be dealing with, I suppose, as the runic player.
And yeah, we just play the Might Dragon Control, which is actually quite strong against runic.
I was thinking that too, like,
yeah,
untargetable.
That's we're riding the Dragon to
That's the
victory.
win condition.
Yeah,
because there's a Gozen match being set. Not sure.
How do you deal with it?
I mean, he has got a scrubbed raid in his hand, which will you know, but it requires him to give up a card every turn to end the battle phase.
Okay, I guess we're special summoning something.
You can summon Jerry, but that has to, it targets, I don't know if it has to be sent to the graveyard as well.
Yeah, it does. Also, yeah, stats-wise, it doesn't quite cut it, so...
Oh, but he's using his scrubbed raid, so once a turn you can send a card you control to the graveyard to end the battle phase. Oh, you know what he can do?
Freki?
Oh, maybe he didn't banish both fountains.
Because Freki would have been an interesting one, being 2000 attack at less, but...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, are you really using your extra deck in this deck? That's the thing.
Yeah, it seems weird. He must have that in his extra deck.
Does he? Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
there's 3 of them.
Yeah. But I guess, yeah, this also works.
I think we were getting too excited. I think the fountain has been added, so...
Yep.
Francesco just, I guess, got to sit back. I feel like you just don't put any cards on the field against Runic, because you just give them targets.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, it's still kinda soon to tell, but at some point I think Francesco will also have to realize what his game plan is in terms of, am I winning this one, and do I really want to go into time against the Runic deck later on down the line, you know? Because it still looks like this could be somewhat winnable, but it definitely seems tough. And if you end up losing this in like 20 minutes down the line, you really risk just losing to Mugen in game 3. So, I don't know.
Yeah, this is very neat though. Why not? Does the Scrub Raid have to be activated during the battle phase?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I mean, switching off the Dimensional Fissure here could give him a turn to make some plays.
For sure. This is big. And here we see one of the first synergies, Gioele reading the Orcus cards. Orcus Nightmare it is.
Wow, look at his face downs. Got Gozen Match and Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. I don't think either of those are really going to cut it. It's quite funny. The Mud Dragon is water.
I was about
you can
to
change it to a dark.
Because you could use it, but then, yeah, the effect is actually there. That's funny.
He's going to have to achieve a lot this turn while he is free from the Dimensional Fissure.
Yeah, we don't know the last set, I guess. Huh?
I think it's Grave of the Super Ancient Organism.
It's not too bad, I guess. Because I was thinking Dingirsu is obviously really good as a way even through Gozen Match to clear threats, but I guess that could be a way of preventing it, of preventing some of the interactions from Francesco. But the Unseen Organism doesn't do all that much against this deck, maybe. Because it doesn't affect, it's only on field, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know, stopping the Horus monsters from using their effects on the field is not super important.
Yep. So
some Gozen Match here to prevent any more Horus monsters from hitting the field. But as we all know, Orcus very focused on using just one type. Oh, sorry, one attribute even, which is Dark. Since any of the graveyard effects of the Orcus monsters mean you can only summon Dark monsters for the rest of the turn from the extra deck.
and yeah, this is a lot. I think he potentially just has it, doesn't he? Because I mean, Dingirsu can clear whatever at some point.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of possible options, because if you want to win the game this turn, then you have to deal with the Scrubbed Raid.
Yeah.
But going forwards, you might want to get rid of the Dimensional Fissure, but then you don't know what the last set is going to be.
Yeah, of course the last set is relevant, but only for mind games. Like in reality, it shouldn't really have an impact if it is the organism.
I'll hold it too. It's going to come in clutch by preventing the Imseti from attacking for 3,000 damage.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah. Here comes Galatea. Wow, this is really bringing me back, just seeing full Orchest.
I mean, the engine is still good. It's obviously tough sometimes to, you know, find a proper version of the deck that can play around a lot of what the other meta decks are offering, but as a core, it's still good.
Yeah, it feels like it's very strong into John Lockbird in particular, which is a very popular card at the moment.
Okay. Here comes the Ningirsu, and this is a big decision from Francesco. What does he want to get rid of? Is he going for the OTK? Or does he even want to clear a Gozen? Is there a universe? I don't think so.
Yeah, surely not clearing Gozen match.
Yeah, you lock yourself anyway, so like it doesn't really matter.
He would lose his Mud Dragon, which would be sad, but maybe he's just going to attach the punish pile.
Fair enough.
Seems unlikely. Francesco has got a Topologic Bomber Dragon in his extra deck, but not the Trisbana.
No.
Could be devastating against the Runic stun, banishing all the spells and traps. So getting rid of that Scrub Raid means it's kind of more aggressive, wants to see if he can put the 8,000 on the field.
I do like this. We can bring more back, boost the attack of something. Not quite sure which one we are targeting.
Just not the Imseti.
Yeah. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's on the World Wand, maybe. Oh, Gizmek. Oh,
that's
another one.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
nice.
another one that loses to it.
He's going to be banishing his own deck as well. Going to help with the Runic stun in its goal.
I think we are entering. No. Okay.
Oh, he targeted the Imseti for the extra attack. Does he have any rank 8s he can use under the... Oh, he has Zombie Vampire. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what do we bring back? All right. Smaller one at least. And it's flipped now though. Okay, of all moments, I guess probably we enter battle phase, I want to assume, because
Does it prevents things from attacking?
Yeah,
or does
it prevents things, that's why you...
So you have to use it before the attack is declared.
It was never getting... It was, I guess, never getting attacked by Yugen, on the Yugen, but yeah, why not? And this gives him another turn. Most likely, unless there is some surprise from Francesco. But, I mean, the only cards left were the Fountain and the... Trader? I don't remember.
That was
the
card
Trader?
scanner.
Yeah, card scanner, yeah.
I mean, it's not irrelevant, the card scanner, because you call spell, and a lot of the time you're probably going to hit a Runic spell.
Yeah.
You do start to run out of spell and trap card zones, though. So if you were, like, running through the list of continuous traps, What, I mean, Grave the Super Ancient Organism seems like one that I wasn't expecting to see.
In the main deck, at least, yeah.
So I was wondering, do you think there's other ones? Or do you think we're starting to run low now as more and more of them get limited or forbidden?
No, I would agree with you. It seems a bit extreme to me, but I guess it's not the worst, depending on what you expect. Like, it's decent against Tempai. At least it can give you a turn, and yeah, even against like Fire King it can be okay. It's obviously not the greatest, but yeah, I'm not an expert. You can ask Alberto probably on this kind of thing.
No, I mean, like, I miss them, honestly, but being at one,
Okay.
by slowly, I think we're just losing them, and also losing the possibility of me playing them, which, you know. But yeah, I mean, now play is back to Gioele. Let's see if he can find any runic cards.
Yeah, Judge just pointing out, I think the Mud Dragon changes back at the end of the turn, so I don't really know if you have to send the Mud Dragon or you can choose to keep water, but I mean, I know you're never keeping the Mud Dragon anyway, so
it's gone. And yeah, as mentioned, we do start with the scanner.
It's a really powerful draw for Gioele. It looks like a runic in his hand, so I don't think the runic has to resolve. I mean, it's not going to resolve right with the SP, but it will put your choice of runic spell, which I think has a tip or something on the bottom. But maybe he's not going to get to use the scanner.
We're interacting now.
I guess you have to do it now to get rid of the scanner, if you want to get rid of the scanner.
Like, do we not get rid of Fountain instead?
That would make more sense to me.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I think that's just straight up the plan, but because you also have the SP to protect from like a possible freezing curse on the Girsu.
Yeah, you'd have to chain it to the Runic Fountain activation, right? Because it's one of those things it doesn't destroy in the same chain. But you are right. It makes a lot more sense to me to...
Yep, let's see if he gets punished by this, or maybe he's holding the counter trap, I don't know.
Or the Ash.
Yeah, there it is, okay. Crescendo. And yeah, that's pretty much game over. So very well execution by Francesco, who kept his composure, and although he passed, I guess this time around he was happy to find out that he was up against Runic Stun, because probably every other deck would have just straight up destroyed you. So you can afford to brick against such a slow deck.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're playing Runic Stun, you think you get that kind of start, and don't take the game. It's got to be a bit of a knock to the confidence. But maybe he was like, oh, this is not a deck I was prepared for.
And
so
you can see it. There it goes. So about 20 minutes are what's needed for Francesco to take this one home. And now it's a lot complete different match, I feel like. Because once you have the knowledge, I mean, I'll ask you guys what the side deck looked like, but in general, you can really tailor your deck better for a matchup like Runic Stun. So what are we expecting from Francesco?
I mean, he has the Cosmic Cyclone for sure, and there's also, I think it's been very popular this week in the deck Lockdown, no?
Yeah.
But I mean, in general, I'm still not sure why he's not playing the Arpes Feather Duster. Maybe he was not just feeling it, I guess.
He's also playing the Graves. That's great.
The Duster in particular, as we were mentioning in the Labyrinth match, like against Runic, they have a very good answer to it. Just any Runic spell or trap.
Yeah.
I also think Centurion is picking up in popularity, and one of the things they have is the Centurion Auxilla prevents your face-up spells and traps being destroyed by card effects. So between things like Runics and Centurion, maybe the Duster loses a little bit of value.
Yeah.
And let's see on the other hand, though, Gioele going first maybe has some more hate, you know, like the Solemn Judgments, if he really feels like it. He has the Amano Iwato, like maybe for some specific matchups as well, because like he has the Spectral Border in the main deck, maybe sometimes just adds them up just in case. I think in general, like, even though you're not super sure of what the Orcos deck does, I mean, I think he has seen that he's a combo deck. He plays with the Graveyard, and there's the Dingirso, which is like super annoying to play with. So I guess like if he really feels like he can side in the Solemn Judgments and the Amano Iwado if he has space, but you know.
Yeah, because like Amano usually is much better for going second than for going first, so it's unsure. But yeah, he's gonna have to tailor his deck. But as you mentioned, none of the two were expecting the other deck, so it's tough to improvise. And I'm pretty sure he had no idea what the Orcus cards did in the first place. So you know, it's tough to adapt. And at least he has this game one where he can really understand what went, because pretty much his opponent went through the entire engine. So if you're a quick learner, you can try and adapt sometimes on the spot. So we'll see how that goes, but I think it's a very important match as they are both on a X11 score. So ending day one with 7-1-1 is really good. But if you lose another one, I'm pretty sure you have to win out, because I'm expecting 9 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses to be probably safe for top cut. But anything lower would be risky. So yeah, this is the spot that these two guys are in. But I think they are almost done, so we can jump right back into action for game 2.
One card I'm seeing in the side deck is Tyrant's Tirade. That's a very old card. You contribute 2 monsters, and then no one can activate effect monsters anymore. So that seems like quite a powerful effect. I'm not sure how easy it is for the Runic deck to actually just get 2 monsters to tribute. So it seems like quite an investment. But oh, here we go with the Runic tip once more.
Yeah. Yeah, the only issue about Tyrant is that it doesn't stop effects in the graveyard. And so against Orcus specifically, still leads to a lot of advantage going on, and then they can just attack with everything. So it's an interesting card, but definitely on the nichier side. Oh, and this is a solid start. Obviously, we didn't want to banish all of our fountains, but solid start.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, starting with tip is always the best card in your deck, followed by, I can see a Solemn Judgment. Like, this is a very good start. And then that Grave of the Super Ancient Organism back again. Obviously, he's decided it is useful against the Horus cards. Is he not going to try and draw something with his fountain?
Apparently not.
Okay.
Definitely an interesting decision.
Maybe just holding the runic spells for their sort of full effects rather than just summoning a monster you're not going to use.
Yeah, that's understandable, but at the same time, when you're playing so many continuous trap, I feel like, and even like 3 copies of Dimensional Fissure, it's pretty good to get those, especially because you can then draw again during your opponent's turn. So I don't know, that was a little questionable, but as you can see here, Fissure would have been amazing. And okay, we are going to the casino. Let's see.
I'm definitely with you, and drawing last turn would have been great. But yeah, here it comes.
Let's see what we are getting. This could be a dangerous game if we hit some Arcusts. And wow, okay. It is the sarcophagus. That's fun.
And he's going just for 2?
I guess so.
I guess this is like slightly more conservative into a potential Ash Blossom, because if you run out of runic spells and then you're denied your draw, then you might kind of be stuck for the next couple of turns, where if you kind of like pace it a bit slower, then instead you can try and activate it more times.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Francesco's thinking about it, right? So I feel like,
Or like you've last turn you activated Tip and Desires and you didn't see an Ash, so
that's true.
I mean, now we normal summon the Harp. And yeah, as expected, we do see a read. So we are holding Grave Solemn and a Runic Spell, so...
I think the Runic Spell is Destruction.
Yeah.
So that's just an attack, it looks like, so perfect news for Gioele. Marcello just looking at me if I pronounce that name
No,
correctly.
no. Absolutely not.
It was perfectly pronounced.
Gioele is, yeah.
Is that how you say it? I don't...
Yeah. I mean, we've mentioned in your Tommaso nowadays.
Exactly.
You know. Okay, nothing great. Banished off the top from Francesco's deck. And actually, this was not the best because although the crescendo effect on field is usually the most relevant one, it also has an engrave effect, which can be pretty useful to just get an additional resource. And typically, you can't use it during your opponent's turn because you can only use one of the two. But if they destroy it, as in this case, it basically means that Francesco can search whatever. The funny thing is you can actually search any dark machine. So some people back in the day were siding like a Jinzo in there. that could have been a fun way to, shut down these traps from his opponent.
Yeah, not irrelevant against this deck at all, but doesn't deal with runics and it doesn't deal with dimensional fissure.
Yeah. And you see, the fissure was there. So if he would have used it, he would have picked it up a turn earlier.
Just going for 2 at a time. And Francesco definitely looking like he has an Ash. So maybe going for 2 at a time is the right way of doing it. But maybe he's just bluffing.
Oh, it just
picks up like he's picking up everything, yeah. I mean, okay, I guess the time is a concern, as we were briefly mentioning before. 90 minutes, it's still quite comfortable to play it out, but it was like, I'm not going anywhere in this game. Might as well save the time, and yeah, can't blame him. And yeah, the score is tied, and now it all comes down to this final game. The plan is pretty clear, although we didn't get to see Francesco combo properly going first, so I want to see if he doesn't break this time around, not jinxing, what he wants to go for. Obviously, this could look quite different as he's facing a very peculiar deck, but yeah, what do you guys think the plan could be?
Well, I've had a little peek at his extra deck, and one card that stood out to me was the Topologic Bomber Dragon. So that can interrupt your opponent multiple times in a turn, because every time a monster is summoned to where it points to, it destroys all the other monsters on the field. But against Runic, that's pretty much irrelevant. Yeah. So I don't know, he's going to have to come up with something on the spot, maybe. I can't really see what else. I mean, the Dingirsu itself is quite a powerful card to play during your opponent's turn, if you can do that, to send maybe a Runic Fountain to the graveyard. And I really want to see that Giant King coach trainer.
Ah, now he knows. Okay. Yeah. I agree with you. I guess the plan is probably just draw as many cards as possible with your engine, so that you can access those, Cosmic Cyclones from the side deck. If you're able to shut down the fountains, you are in a really good spot. And Crescendo is really annoying going first for the deck. So yeah, seems like that could be a way to play this game out and grind. But you're obviously not gonna face anything going first. I don't think there is any interruption from the deck on the other side, right? In terms of entraps or anything like that. So
I did see maybe a sneaky Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood coming in.
Is there? Yeah.
I mean, the spookiest.
It's one of those cards where, if your opponent plays it on you, it can be quite difficult to figure out exactly how much life points you can give, unless you've practiced with it a lot, because you need to know how many turns and how much time it's going to take you to end the game. If you go and do your full combo and then, give your opponent 30,000 life points or something silly, you might not actually be able to close the game out, even if you look like you're in a completely winning position.
Yeah, but let's see whether that will be the case, as they are done with their side decks. Only one duel remains to find out the winner of round 8. Okay, trying to get a glimpse. Okay, we do have the sarcophagus. At least we are improving from game 1.
That is straight into a coach trainer, isn't it? That gets you 3 level 8s at the drop of a hat.
Of course we are.
That's 1. That's 2. And discard one more. Go on.
Yes.
Here we go. Good thing as well, it puts you ahead on life points, the coach trainer. Well, assuming you draw at least one monster. And with a few cards in the game, you can only activate thrice per turn. Has that in common with the Pearly XYZs.
Save it for the quizzes, Tom. All this trivia for free. Yeah. And yeah, there he is.
In defense. I think you just got to put it in attack mode. I've never really got that.
No,
you know?
nah, look at the... Come on. Look at the bats. It's not meant to be in defense. But yeah, this is great. Insane pushes back in the day.
Oh,
yeah.
You're reading this thing.
Yeah.
Does it really do that?
Yeah, it does.
You just draw 3 cards. I'm playing the runic deck, you know.
Yeah. Looks pretty confused, but
Very nice interaction, honestly, this from Francesco with the King's Sarcophagus as well, gathering of one of his Orcus and send the harp to the graveyard. And then once again here using the Koch King and other...
yeah, dealing some damage, and yeah, that's just...
What sent the harp to the graveyard?
I think he went for... and yeah, I was confused as well, because the Nightmare, it seems like, was discarded, but...
You have to banish the Nightmare,
yeah, I thought so
you?
as well.
Yeah, you're right.
Did he send it from his deck or his hand?
No, because
or?
he discarded the Nightmare for the
King's Sarcophagus.
King's Sarcophagus effect. And
I think he just sent it with King's Sarcophagus.
I think so. I think he might have made a small...
There's no weird synergy that
No.
Harp Horror is somehow a Horus card.
No.
Okay.
But then I guess, did he activate it twice? I'm not sure, but I guess so. And we can now keep, yeah.
Anyway, here comes some nice Orcus combos.
Yeah, into the crescendo as we were expecting.
I suppose John knows that no Cosmic Cyclones were picked up from the coach trainer, but still could have been some in his opening hand. He's got two level 7s on the field now, so can he make a rank 7 maybe? No, I think maybe the judge just picking up something, or they asked a question about how the harp went to the graveyard.
Yeah. So that's yet another face down and passes.
Can Dingus not just stop something being destroyed?
Yeah.
Am I remembering the effect wrong?
Yeah. Just
Come
the
on.
touch one, right? And I think, I'm not sure if he read it. Yeah, he's gonna read it now. I mean, again, it's one of those things where all match you have only witnessed an effect by Dingir, so this has never came up, but unfortunately, yeah, he does that too.
Yeah, that's a real setback though, because every runic spell can potentially draw you 3 cards. Can push into an Ash or a Crescendo.
And does this resolve? It does, okay. Not using Crescendo here.
Is that a tip for a third time?
Yeah. What do you think? Would you have Crescendo the Desire?
I don't think so. I think you can just crescendo the... Can you crescendo effects, or do you have to crescendo activations?
You mean of the Yugin?
No, I'm just thinking you just save it for a fountain, because it banishes
Once
the card.
it resolves?
I don't know.
It's
I
the
don't...
activation, right?
But maybe,
Usually you can't with these kind of cards, but let me check. Yeah, no, you cannot.
but you just do it on the fountain and then get down one fountain. Because this could very well be the last fountain. It banishes the card too, right? So this could be the end of the fountain trains.
Okay, we set before
And then...
activating the card.
This is the end phase. Is he just trying to gain 1,000 to go ahead in life points?
Which he's not gonna do because he's down 1,600. So
Because there were two monsters, yeah.
And what? What?
Just preventing the life points are all important. It only does 1,000, right? There's no...
Yeah.
I mean, it has the targeting protection as well, but like not now because like.
Maybe Francesco didn't realize he's
Yeah.
would be more than 1,000 difference. But like, he has so much going on right now.
I have no idea. But
He can just like make a Dingirsu with two level 8s as well, the old-fashioned way.
we have a skill drain hiding in there.
But skill drain doesn't protect you from just being attacked. It can do quite a lot of damage.
Does not. But it drains the skill.
It does. You need Mystic Mind for that. No attack, no skills.
Ooh, and we have the Cosmic from the side deck. That's huge. But as mentioned, was
So you
it
can prevent
chained?
other cards from being targeted?
I think it was only runic cards. Yeah, no, it's only runic cards. Pretty sure.
I guess you can just put Dingirsu over Galatea anyway. Probably easier than two level 8s.
Comes Babel.
So much action for Francesco. He's got everything his deck could offer in his hands.
And here comes another Dingirsu.
I mean, you kind of have to play the freezing curses, otherwise you lose your dimensional fissure, but I don't know what difference it makes.
Okay. This seems almost done. Is it freezing or is it destruction? I'm not sure, but yeah. I guess.
Destruction would be even worse.
Yeah.
Learning the hard way about Dingirsu's protection.
Regardless, yeah. That's done. We only have one more runic. Yeah, it's counting the attacks, and this seems like mission impossible. Taking it.
Where's a, Quaking Mirror Force when you need one?
Oh no, it was Slumber. Yeah, it's just looking at it. Yeah, once again, the thing here, so he's there to protect all of Francesco's monsters. And I think, yeah, he's soon realizing that he can just banish, but that's not really taking you there, right? And that's it. Francesco takes it 2-0, or rather 2-1, but yeah, what an impressive match. Really, really back and forth one, especially in game one. We had the weirdest of starts with both players, I think, passing back and forth a couple times. But I mean, maybe the experience at the future match table showed off for Francesco. And yeah, he took it. Orcus is still with a very, very comfortable score, looking good into making the two.
Yeah, I mean, truly very unique. Not even something that was on our radar at all.
No.
Completely, a deck out of, I don't even know when it won its last YCS, but quite a few years prior to this. And to the extent that, again, like old decks is something that people might not necessarily remember. I mean, there's playing the new decks and hoping people don't know the cards, but also if you pick out an old deck that, obviously people like us who've been playing the game for forever know, but a lot of people may have started way after the Orcus deck was popular, so you're going to have that surprise factor as well.
Yeah, maybe Calafan off on the radar for a while, but I think the deck is very consistent, and I also like the fact that he's piloting it in a very fashion way. He has the super poly as well, which is quite unexpected. He has the skill drain, and I think the deck is super consistent, and it pushes a lot. It puts a part of pressure into your opponent, and you can afford to play hand traps. And once again, I think is one of those decks which if you're not super familiar with, because I think it's been at least 5 years. It was maybe 2019 when the deck was around. If you're not super familiar with the deck, at the end of the day, you may be struggling with it, right? Especially because, we saw, although Gioele was playing, kind of a more stun deck, at the end of the day, Francesco knew what he had to do in order to beat the deck, and the Dingirzu alone, I think it's just too strong. Yeah,
it was quite sneaky with that protection effect at the end there. Not that it mattered too much, probably, but yeah, across the board, I think it still is an interesting engine. Obviously, it's gonna line up better against some decks. I can see it working out pretty well against Tempai, for example. The protection also can come in handy there, and against other decks, it has to be seen. Obviously, the shifter seems still to be quite a big issue for it. And I guess Francesco has just found a way to adapt, and probably, as we should get a chance to ask, just have fun with one of his favorite decks and, just tailor it for the format. He has the home turf advantage, as though almost half of the field does. So that's not too much of an advantage, I'd say. But yeah, overall, though, congrats to Gioele. He's still with a pretty good score. As mentioned, we are expecting, the 9 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses to be kind of like the score that should guarantee you a spot in the top 64. So they are both still in contention for that. But we have one more round to be played today to find out who this duelist advancing to the 2 will be. But before we move on to that, we want to hear it from Francesco, the winner of round 8, and let's hear it from the post-match analysis.
Here we are with Francesco Simoncelli winning with the Horus Orcus strategy here. Congratulations, man. What makes you play this deck here today?
I decided to play this deck only because it have a good matchup versus Tempai.
Okay.
And it's the most representative deck in the YCS.
Yeah, there's a lot of Tempai players for sure.
A good call. And versus all these random decks like Runic, all Horus engine is really good.
Yeah, the Horus engine is insane, you're right. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple of highlights and we're going to get your opinion on some of that. So first highlight, let's go into the game. And that was a very key moment because you had the infinite impermanence in the Dimensional Fissure column. Dimensional Fissure in general, pretty strong against your deck, right? So you needed that impermanence there, okay?
Yes, it's true, but the deck can play versus Dimensional Fissure.
Okay.
Only with one card in engine like Girsu.
Okay.
You can make Galatea and make over there Dingirsu, so you can send it to the
True,
game.
you're right. Dingirsu is super flexible, right?
Yeah. It's one of the best cards of the deck.
True.
And it's still so strong versus Fire King engine. And Promethean stuff, and
yeah, you're right. Okay,
it's really good.
Second highlight, actually all about Dingirsu now. As we can see, there you summoned it for the first time in that match, and you got to send that scrubbed raid. Were you trying to go for game there, or what was the intention of that?
Yeah. I wanna try to for the game, and I say if I didn't close because my opponent have another Floodgate or something else or a random Runic, I can end my bird with a strong bird, so
Still fine, right? Yeah, it still was all right. So talking about that strong field, last highlight out of game number 1 we have on here. The last card remaining, he got the Runic Fountain, so he was like, okay, we can get back into this, but Orcus Crescendo then for you, just negating that. And I mean, that's probably a pretty big upside of your deck as well, right? That you have that hard negate for cards. A lot of decks are actually missing that at the moment, but you have it, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Orcus Crescendo is crazy, but then in the second game actually was pretty quick, so I only have one highlight from there. Let's see which one it was, because you got to resolve your He's searching out the King Sarcophagus, and then the Runic Dispelling. 6 cards to choose from, and he got the right one, right?
And I had 2 cards that it start from the grave, like Crescendo and Harp.
Yeah.
But he hit the best one, and in this moment I decided to only make the attack with Harp, because Runic, if he takes damage at the time, can't.
True. It's a very slow deck for sure, of course. Also, I think we saw that overall in the beginning of game 1. You tried to keep it very slow. Of course, your opening hand wasn't great, but still, like then you didn't do very much because you were like, okay, when I don't give them set cards, when I don't give them monsters, they can't activate their Runic. So you were getting time with that, right? That was pretty good of you.
Yeah.
But then game number 3, of course, and there was a card we haven't seen in a long time here in our first highlight. Coach King Giant Trainer, right? Your opponent had to read that card multiple times, actually.
Yes.
So explain it to us. What is it there for?
It's one of the best cards versus all board breaker decks, or
true.
Without entraps, because one is good for the time because you draw, and in this spot was too good.
True, you did damage with that. Right.
If your opponent don't play entraps, you can draw a floodgate or something else.
You drew 3 cards with it. I mean, that's crazy. Like with 1 card, that's pretty insane. And then, of course, you built a good field again, and then your field actually is pretty good into those Runic cards, as we are going to see now in the next highlight once more, because your opponent started off by Runic Destruction. And then you showed him another effect of your Dingirsu, right?
Yes.
You were double checking, and explain the other effect of Dingirsu, because people probably have forgotten at this point.
If a card on my field, not only one, will be destroyed, you can detach one and protect it.
Yeah.
And it isn't once per turn.
Oh, it's not once per turn,
Yes.
even. That's really good.
This start is really strong versus Tempai, because you can't lose from Storm, Duster, and something else.
Yeah, and I mean, you even got to protect your Crescendo there, because the set card was a Crescendo in that case, and then that was pretty crazy. Back to you, because he couldn't break your field there at all, and the last highlight then we have prepared here, it's going to be all about Dingirsu once more, because you summoned a second copy of it and activate the effect, just send another card to the graveyard, and at that point you pretty much knew that you're probably going to win this game, right? You were already smiling into the camera, telling your friends, yeah, this is looking good over here, right?
Thank you.
I mean, I saw actually, when you were playing on the floor, a lot of your friends are cheering on for you, are watching you playing at the top tables, right? Good feeling here in Bologna, Italy?
Yes, see, some people know me, and I have a lot of friends here, so it's...
I mean, home country YCS is always special, right, here in Italy. So, yeah, very interesting deck choice by you. Thank you so much for answering all the questions, and also explaining a couple of the older Orcus cards that are still going strong in the tournament. X1-1 here with Francesco Simoncelli. So thank you for the interview, and now we're going to get it back over to Ad for some more live interviews.